there, alligator! This past week I had the honor and opportunity to do a pre-screening of the documentary coming out on Friday, May 18th, Pope Francis, A Man of His Word. And if I had to choose a quote that Pope Francis emulated most throughout this video, I would actually have to choose two. The first one would be, "You have come to serve, not to rule," in Thomas A. Kempis's Imitation of Christ. And the second one would be, "The opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference," by Elie Wiesel. Wim Wenders even has a flashback of different Holocaust victims, which further edified for me that Elie Wiesel quote about indifference being the true opposite of love. So I'm Allie Marie, and this is My Catholic Perspective. To join the alligators, all you have to do is subscribe and you're part of the crew. Today is actually my very first Editorial Tuesday. I have a couple other topics on board for other Tuesdays, but I am so honored to be able to start these Tuesdays with a review of a documentary about our Holy Father. Going into it, I wondered, what does it mean, a man of his word? Like, what are they really going to focus on? Wenders actually decided to start the film, instead of on the Vatican, focusing on Assisi, focusing on why Pope Francis chose the name Francis. The first speech that they show Pope Francis giving is actually in Buenos Aires in 1999, when he was still the Archbishop. In this speech, the main phrase that stuck with me that proved that he truly is a man of his word was fraternal peace. His focus has always been on the poor and those in poverty. The lifestyle as Pope that he is choosing proves that he is willing to sacrifice things that previous popes have not. Throughout the documentary, there are these moments that are in a silent era style film that gives a flashback of a younger Saint Francis, explaining where the name of Francis actually comes from within our Pope. Those who are in poverty literally live off of the earth. They build huts from sticks and mud. They have to eat whatever food is only grown in their area, whether that's rice or wheat or corn. The focus on the fact that Mother Earth is who sustains our life. So within fraternal peace, Pope Francis actually makes it so that the environment and the earth is a part of our life. It isn't a dominion that we should take for granted, but rather a stewardship that we have a responsibility to take care of and nourish and sustain for the common good. I'm not going to deny that Pope Francis has ruffled some feathers. He is the first Jesuit priest, which is the most liberal order that you can be a part of. Even though he's chosen a more modest lifestyle than previous popes, it doesn't mean that he is going to be changing doctrine or anything within that. Everything that Pope Francis says throughout this film does line up with doctrine. Ultimately, God knows our hearts. It is only God who can judge whether or not we are going to go to heaven. I would have to say that there were two favorite scenes that I had in this documentary. The first one would be in 2013 when Pope Francis made his first appearance after the conclave in St. Peter's Square. In the theater, the way that this was captured and the energy, the Holy Spirit was physically tangible. And that was just an amazing experience for me. And then the second one would be at the joint session of Congress that Pope Francis spoke at. After looking at joint sessions where Obama was speaking and President Trump was speaking, noticing that only one side or the other would stand when different statements were made, the testimony of Pope Francis's goal and motive of fraternal peace is so evident when everyone on both sides of that joint Congress stood. And I feel that's because of everything else that he represents throughout the rest of this film. The fact that he focuses on the common good, that he focuses on the domestic church. What we look for in deciding whether or not we would convert Catholic is by witnessing the example of other Catholics' lives. He states in the video that he has one question for parents. Do you play with your kids? Do you lose time with your kids? I just think that is such a powerful testament to what it means to be authentically Catholic. To focus on that common good and the well-being of yourself and another being. My final note that I would like to add before you go see this documentary would be that they referenced a proselytizing attitude. And I didn't know what that word meant, so I had written it down and looked it up later. Proselytizing means like you're trying to convert someone. You're really promoting this thing. You're saying you have to be Catholic or you're going to hell. I don't even remember the context that they used Pope Francis with that, but I would say that if anything, he has a lack of a proselytizing attitude. To say that you can be an atheist and make it to heaven, you can be gay and make it to heaven, and it's all with God. I feel like the proselytizing attitude is very present within the church, and that is not what the Bible or what the Catechism teaches. The Bible explicitly states, man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. At the end of the day, it isn't up to us to say this person's going to heaven and this person's going to hell. God judges us all based on our experiences. Pope Francis is truly a man of his word because his focus from the very beginning has been and will continue to be on fraternal peace, on the entirety of humanity and what we can do personally to contribute to the common good. So I highly recommend this video. Like I said, it comes out on Friday, May 18th in 300 theaters around the United States, and then throughout the summer it'll be released in other places throughout the world. But if you're able to go, it is so worth it to see it in theaters. My husband and I actually don't go to movies in theaters too often. Unless it's like an action movie that's like, no, we have to see this on the big screen, we won't go. This is definitely one that I would say is worth seeing in theaters. So God bless you. Do what you can to promote the common good, and definitely look at Pope Francis's example and how he has been such a man of integrity with his words, thoughts, and actions, everything lining up in being a true man of his word. Take care, and until next time, we'll see you later, alligator.